Hello BookTube. Today I'm going to be doing the Hindsight is 2020 book tag. The tag was created by Erin Go Reads. This is her first original tag, and I was tagged by Sean D. Stanfast, and I'll leave links to both channels down below. Question number 1. What were you like as an early and learning reader? I think I was an earnest early and learning reader. There's never been a period in my life that I do not remember reading and loving to read. Although when I was younger, I was as prone to playing with my toys and watching movies and television as most other kids. But I did read probably significantly more than most people of my age at the time. Question number 2. What book or book series really got you excited about reading as a kid? I'm going to say the Great Illustrated Classics line. They were a line of books. I'm not entirely sure who published them. I remember getting them for my birthday or as a random present from my dad and stepmother. And I remember just going over the pictures, and eventually I read the entirety of A Tale of Two Cities in one sitting, or not in one sitting, but over the course of one day, and absolutely loving it, and doing similar to Treasure Island and I think The Jungle Book, and maybe The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I've done that one too, and some of the others, although I don't quite remember what other ones were in that collection. But anyway, I quite remember reading those and loving them, and also the first two Little House books, Little House in the Big Woods and Little House on the Prairie by Laura Ingalls Wilder, also really got me into reading. Question number 3. Has there been a person in your life, real or fictional, who inspired you to be a reader? Not that I can remember. I'm told that when I was young, one of my first babysitters was a high school student who wanted to be a teacher, and she taught me how to read. I don't remember this, but I will credit that as being sort of what set me on the path for being a reader. As far as like what I can remember goes, I've just always gravitated towards books. I've always wanted to read books. My family hasn't been the most voracious of readers. My brother scorns books, and my nieces and nephews, despite the 4 children of the apocalypse, despite my best efforts, will probably grow up scorning books as well, although hopefully they will have a magnificent teacher who will light the reading fire under them. But anyway, and my mom, she reads, although she really didn't read nearly as voraciously as I do up until a few years ago when she had no other option. So anyway, and as for fictional people, not really. Although maybe, I don't know. Possibly reading Rainbow. Although LeVar Burton is a real person, so that is actually interesting. How influential reading Rainbow was. Something I ought to look into or try to remember back. But anyway, let's move on to question number 4. At what point did you begin to identify as a reader? I think really when I started reading novels and being drawn into these other worlds, the Little House books, the Great Illustrated Classics, the last of the really great Wangadoodles, Archie Margaret and the Rats of Nim, and all of the other books I read at that time period. Of course, those are mostly fictional. It took me a little bit longer to get into nonfiction. I think I was in 6th grade or thereabouts when I read like a biography of Elizabeth I and Catherine the Great. And even though I still was mostly fiction reading, I really hadn't discovered the love of nonfiction for itself until relatively recently. But yeah, I would say probably about 3rd or 4th grade when I really started to consider myself a reader once I started reading novels and preferring to read over going out to play or playing with the toys and stuff like that. Question number 5. How has being a reader shaped your life and your worldview? It's made it more expansive. Not only in worlds that never were, but also the world as it is, and could be. That you can see into the imaginations of other people, of like new histories and science and all of that, just expanding your knowledge and your creativity and all of that. It's like reading can bring that. And compared to most of my classmates who weren't readers, I mean, I had a far more expansive view of the world than they did. So, and question number 6. Tag someone who's reading history you want to learn more about. I'm going to tag everybody. I typically do in these tag videos, tag everyone. So if you haven't been tagged, or if you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged, and yeah, enjoy it. It was quite fun. It actually made me think about like how influential like some of those children's television shows might have been that I'm perhaps giving short shrift to, particularly Reading Rainbow, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Sesame Street, and so on. So anyway, so yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. Otherwise, I'm going to start rambling. But tomorrow I will have a obviously weekly reads. I don't know if there'll be a video before then or not. I'm currently working on my book haul plan. Over here, I've got 2 more books in, and I'll do those on the last Friday of January. It's going to be some fun narratives going on with those books. Anyway, so tomorrow, weekly reads. Monday, hopefully, I will have an original tag up. I'm still working on it. There are a few questions, prompts that I'm not entirely happy with that I want to have another go at and see if I can rework them or if I have to change the prompt question. So anyway, so until tomorrow, BookTube, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.